Hi, everybody. My name is Jack. I'm a compulsive eater, and I weigh and measure 3 meals a day off that beautiful gray sheet. I write those meals down. I call them into my qualified gray sheet sponsor. Abstinence today is the most important thing in my life without exception. And my abstinence date is February 1st, 2020. I'm so grateful to be here. Thanks, Tara, for asking me. Thanks, Joe, for chairing our timer. Who's our timer? Thank you. And oh, Tara, oh, there you go. Thank you, thank you. And it's just a privilege to share my experience, strength, and hope. And I'll start out with I had moved up to Vermont after 9/11, and I wanted my youngest child to go to the Putney school, and so I moved to Putney, and I was in OA. I was in and out of OA since 1987, and OA 90 in that area there of Springfield, Northampton, and all that area there it was pretty solid OA 90, and but I couldn't get abstinent. I mean, I would get a year, I would get 8 months, 6 months, whatever, and then I stopped going, and I started again in 2000 or 1999 or something like that. And I was going to Northampton and all. We were driving down to Medford from Vermont on Saturday. And what a group that was. Holy God almighty. Woo-wee. And so it wasn't for the willingness or the lack of willingness. It was just, I had no idea that the grains were kicking my ass, and I didn't think I was really huge in AA. Huge meaning I was really a big part of AA. I held many positions in AA in Western Mass, and I really didn't know. I didn't get it that this is so important. And I was a runner, so I could run the weight off, and I was running mountains and climbing, and I worked for a lot of outdoor leadership places like Greenfield Community College, AMC, and just outward bound. I was an outward bound instructor, and so the weight would come off. It was all about the weight for me. And so when I moved up to Brattleboro, I was going to the Brattleboro OA 90, and nobody had 90 days. And this one woman came in, swear to God, there's something different about it. I mean, she had these floodlight eyes, and she was on time, and she had it down. And she was inviting these people from Cambridge and Orange and all this other stuff. And one day she gave me a telephone list for the gray sheet. And I got on a couple times, and she said, "Jack, do you know who I am?" And I didn't make the connection that she was on a telephone meetings as well. I mean, I was sober a long time, but I was mocus. And one night she brought over this woman, Sally, and her husband, George. And Sally died in 2006. So that had to be at about 2001 or 2002 or something like that, 2003. And Sally was just remarkable. I mean, for me, she had my attention right away. And they lived over in Peterborough, New Hampshire. And so I started going over there. And on Tuesday night, it was a meeting of about 50 people, and about 10, 12, 20 people. They had this gray sheet community there, which I still wasn't clear about. And one night she walked up after about 6 months, and she says, "We can't help you here, Jack." She gave me a note, some kind of a note, and directions to get to 11 Garden Street in Cambridge. And so it wasn't that, I mean, it was a 2.5 hour ride from Vermont, but, I was doing it. Medford was right. I mean, it's the same distance away, so it wasn't a 5 minutes. Thanks so much. So anyway, I got in. My first speaker was this woman who got up there, and she's in this room tonight. And she said, this is maybe 18 years ago. And she said, if you want to know why you ate, stop eating. And then she said, this is the only way I know how to reparent myself. And then after the meeting, she took me to read labels, get a scale. I had a Mickey Mouse scale for OA, and get a scale at Staples and go next door to Whole Foods and read labels. And I didn't ask her, was she a professional woman? I thought, how lucky is she to take me to do all these things? And it took me about 5-6 years to realize how well I was taken care of. I stayed in a Gray Sheet for about 4.5 years. I left. I can't tell you why. I can guess. And I was out there for 6 years, gained 140 pounds, 289 pounds, high blood pressure, the whole deal. And people were calling me from Gray Sheet for that 6 years. And I came back, and I loved it. I just adored being in Gray Sheet, like I do today. And I lost all that weight. My blood pressure came down. I had onset diabetes, no more. And I was absent for about 5+ years. And during that time, don't get me wrong, there was a lot of stuff going on. I had a younger child who was transitioning from female to male. I have insurance. I'm retired Marine. So I have great insurance. And it would pay for anything, but the Brattleboro retreat was double billing me, so they weren't paying for anything. And my house in Westminster West, which was beautiful, was 12 acres, cedar, glass. I aqueducted my own pond in there, and that went up for foreclosure for $400,000 worth of bills, of catastrophic medical bills. I swallowed a little piece of plastic. I usually have it around here. I dropped a thing of the stuff some of us eat in the morning, and it was plastic. And I put it in this glass thing, and this little piece of plastic cut off my lower bowel, and I almost died. And I stayed abstinent through my sponsor and through other things. So it's not. And during that 5 years, I went to yoga teacher training at 71 years old. I just went through another yoga teacher training here in Connecticut. I just a couple of weeks ago ended that, and at 75. And I just left. And Sally always used to say that the mental illness is the built-in forgetter. And I remember her saying that, the built-in forgetter, and I forgot everything. And after about 6 months, gaining 65 pounds and just lost in my soul, I had a prayer partner. I was doing a prayer partner, and I called her. And I said, I'll be back to, when I sat down to meditate, I got this message: you better get your ass back to Westport. And now I'm in Vermont, Brattleboro, Vermont. Westport is 3.5 hours away, each way. And I don't know whether I'm going to do it or not. I get up 3 a.m. in the morning, just got up like that, packed 3 meals, went down to Westport, my day one. And on the way out, I was driving by, my car pulled over, and I called this guy I used to sit with in Soldiers and Sailors in Cabrini in New York. And I asked him, will you be my sponsor? And he says, absolutely. And I've been abstinent ever since. And I don't take this for granted, nor do I settle for less. But I will tell you this, that my abstinence is the most valuable, precious gift, priceless gift that I have. During this last whatever it is, February 1st will be my 3 years back, wherever I am with that, 2 years, some months, whatever. Something has shifted in me.
That's 10, Jack.
Oh, thanks so much, Tara. Something shifted in me. Now, I need to tell you, 37 years ago, I shot myself in the chest. That bullet's still in me. It ricocheted all over. I almost bled to death. That bullet is in this part of my humerus, stuck in the bone, and other pieces are floating around somewhere. It took me another year to go get back to the VA in 5-point restraints. I was taken from the Franklin County Medical Center. They wanted to put me in 4-point restraints, but I kept on raising my head. I was just a pain in the ass. And they didn't want me to have whiplash, so they tied my head down. And I got there, I was committed by the state of Massachusetts and the federal government on a 10-day paper. And I caught the message of AA there. And a year later, I got to OA. So, I mean, I'm not dealing with, I didn't come in here and everything was la-di-da and all that other stuff. Through coming to Grey Sheet is top for me. It is top. Coming to Grey Sheet, doing the steps, sponsoring, having a sponsor, doing service work. I mean, I think this is my third meeting today. I was the co-host on the Connecticut CTIG meeting this morning. I was the booker on the Ireland meeting this afternoon at 3 o'clock. And usually by 6, I'm eating at this time at 7:30. I'm done for the day. And I do a lot of service. I'm the GSR down in Westport. I'm on the Public Information Committee. And I held that spot in AA as well, so I'm very familiar with it. And so I'm doing a lot of work. My life is really good. I do a lot of yoga. I'm back writing again. I was writing at Smith College. Now they have me on a Zoom platform where I'm writing. I wrote last week at Smith College in Northampton, Mass. And next Friday, the 30th, I'll be writing again with them. They ask me all the time, Ellen Watson, who's the director there. And so I'm getting back to what I've done for years. And only because I'm Grey Sheet abstinent, only because the food has done so much damage to me. You would think the booze would have done this much damage to me, but it wasn't. It was the food. And the recovery in the food here of weighing 3 weighed and measured meals is incredible. The resiliency of my body. I have a head injury. You know, one time I was coming out of, I had a discharge summary. I did a 12-week combat debriefing in Northampton, Massachusetts. And it said gunshot wound, head injury, malaria. I had 2 types, one Vietnam, one Laos, and amoebic dysentery. And then it had morbid obesity. I'm like, are they kidding me? Who are they looking at? I don't have no, obesity. And, that's the thing that got me. So for someone like me to take this and get this gift again, and like a guy, Cigar Eddie said to me, this guy, he's no longer with us, he said to me 35, 36 years ago, he said, this is your path, Jack. It's the only path you got. You better love it. And this is my path. It's a 1 minute left. So anyway, I get to thank you all for this beautiful, wonderful gift of abstinence that has put me in a place at 75 years old where I have a future. This is an amazing gift. And my future is with you, all of you. So thank you very much for your abstinence. And I'm not going to eat no more today. I'm in between dinner and breakfast. So there you go. I love you all. Thank you.